Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these super easy and beautiful little shabby chic ornaments. These were so much fun to make, and I just used Fabri-Tac glue, and for the glitter on the leaves I just used the medium gel that I showed you in my last video. I absolutely love it because it doesn't fall off, it doesn't flake off, it stays put. And I had a ball making these. And on the back, I also made them to look finished and really pretty. And so I'm anxious to show you how I put these together, and I think you're really going to enjoy this video. So with that said, we'll move on. And I do apologize for my voice in advance. I'm getting over a cough and a runny nose, so with that said, we'll move on. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is some stiff white felt. And I cut this one in half. This is an 18-inch long piece, and I bought it at Hobby Lobby for $1.19. You can also pick this up at Michael's. However, the one at Michael's is much thicker than the one at Hobby Lobby. But that's okay, because this will be perfect for what we need to do. Okay, so you're going to need some trims of your choice. I cut this piece off here, but they sell this 4mm AB rhinestone chain on Amazon by the roll, and there's several different sellers that sell this, but I can go ahead and give you the link to the one that I used, and I'll have that on my blog. And all you have to do is click on the picture of this project when you go to happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and it should open up for you. If you have any issues with it, just email me at happybirdsglitternest@gmail.com. Okay, so as you can see, this is very pretty, and it's much larger than the chain that I've used in my previous videos. Okay, now I purchased my pearl trims and things at Hobby Lobby because they're so inexpensive. This one was $2.99, but I paid half price for it because about twice a month Hobby Lobby will have all of their trims and stuff on sale for 50% off. So make sure you check their ad, okay? And there's 24 feet in this particular roll, so I'm using this. And I'll also be using this 4mm white pearl trim that I buy from Walmart. And this is under $4, and you get about 4 yards. But I really like these pearls. I think they're so pretty. And I did buy another roll, thank goodness, because I'll use up what's left on this, but I have another roll in there. And if I didn't tell you this before, these are also 4mm. So everything we're using here today is 4mm, okay? Alright, so with that said, we'll move on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is you're going to need a starting point. Now I'm using this cardstock, and I'm taking my 1-inch circle punch, and I'm just going to punch this out like that. Alright. Now I'm going to place this little circle punch right in the middle right here of this little corner of the stiff white felt, because you're going to need a starting point. Now make sure when you cut your stiff white felt square out, make sure you're going to have plenty of room to work with to put the chains around here. So you want it fairly wide, okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this, because you need something that's even and circular. You can also use the little white 1-inch white circles that you find in the kids section that are felt. That's what I'm trying to say. But that'll give you a starting point, and you want an even starting point because whatever you start with is what you're going to end up with. So if you start out uneven, you're going to end up uneven. You start out even, you're going to end up even. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is take one of these 4mm pink pearl trims that I just put away. I wasn't thinking. We have two different types here from Hobby Lobby, the light pink and the darker pink, but I'm going to be using the light pink today since I already made one with darker pink. And all you do is take some Fabri-Tac. I ordered some more of this on Amazon because I was running low. I use this stuff so much now for just about everything. It's been a while since I've actually taken my hot glue gun out. Alright, so I'm just going to put some glue around here. And I love the Fabri-Tac glue because everything dries clear, so I don't have to worry about the glue showing or looking murky or anything like that. So I'm just going to be wrapping this on around. And that will give me a starting point. I'm sorry if you hear a little kitten in the background, or I should say a cat now. My daughter-in-law rescued a kitten. It was actually one of 5 kittens, and about 5 months ago. And so the kitten, or the cat, has become very attached to me. So when I'm in the room and I'm trying to craft, and I put the cat out because he loves all my craft supplies, or she does, she sometimes will stand at the door and meow, and it makes me feel bad. Okay, so as you can see, I'm kind of going around this little paper circle that I glued on here, just to make sure everything's nice and even. And you can hold it up and you can see more of what you're doing too. There we go. As long as the outside pearls are even, you're going to end up with something nice. Okay. And I'm just going to let this dry, just this one part here, for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour or so. And then I'll be back and we'll finish up the chain. But this looks like it's going to be really nice and even. It'll give it a good starting point. Okay, so we'll be back. Okay, I purchased these pretty little 1-inch Prima flowers at Hobby Lobby, and they're regular $4.99, but I didn't pay that. I paid $2.50 because it was half off. And I always check the ads at Hobby Lobby because in almost every department they have 50% off, at least a couple of times a month. In the fabric section, where the trims are, where the paper studio rhinestones are, the jewelry section. So I wait for those sales because I know they're going to have them at least a couple of times a month, and I can get everything for half off. So I'm just sharing that with you. These are the little 1-inch Prima flowers, and I chose to use this mint colored one, and I'm going to put some glue here on the back, Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm going to make sure that this is nice and centered right here in the middle of the pearls. Okay, you want it nice and centered. So I have some more of this light pink pearl trim, and I'm going to wrap another layer of that around here, okay? See how I'm moving the piece of stiff felt? That's why I like to cut a square off the actual big piece of felt, because I could move it around and it's just so much easier to work with. Okay. And then I'm just going to move this around and estimate where I can cut this off. I think I can cut it off right here. I hope I'm right about that. Yep, perfect. Just perfect. Okay. All right, and hold it up because it gives you a better perspective, and you can kind of move things around a little bit. If they look uneven, you can kind of pull it outward, or do what you need to do in order to make it look nice and even. And as you can see, I'm kind of working with this. Now, it's not going to be absolutely 100% dead on as far as being super, super even, but you want to get it as close as possible, okay? So I think that actually looks pretty good. And then we'll continue to wrap pearls around that. And let's see, I have a piece of these white pearls here that I got from Walmart, so I think I'm going to use that. I have a whole nother roll of it. One thing I like about this glue too is if you get it on your fingers, it literally just rolls off when you rub your fingers together. It's the crazy stuff. Ah, I accidentally got some on top there, but I wiped it off. It's okay. And I'm showing you this in real time, so you'll have an idea of roughly how long each one will take you. Hey, will you look at that? I'm like one pearl short. So that's a good thing, so I can show you what I do. And that is, I just cut off a pearl and just stick it in there. So if you find yourself one pearl short, that's all you have to do. And then you're just going to kind of even this out. I'm going to pull it out a little bit to make it look a little more circular. Even that pearl up that I just cut. You can use toothpicks to do that too. You don't have to use your fingers. You can use toothpicks. Okay. All right. And so I think the next row I'm going to be using will be the rhinestone chain, the 4mm rhinestone chain. So I cut a piece of this off the roll so it wouldn't be so awkward. I got some glue here, so I'm going to pull that off. Sometimes that happens. Okay. I'm just going to put this all the way around. And whatever you decide to use as your starting point, I showed you how I used a little cardstock. Just make sure that it's flat, because you want to be able to glue that rose on without it being up too high. Alright, so work with the rhinestones a little at a time, 2 or 3 rhinestones at a time, and press it down so it will not roll on its side. And I love the 4mm AB rhinestone because it looks nice and bold. Okay, so now I'm gonna press this down. I think this looks good. The real nice frame that we're gonna make on the outside, which will be the last, will be white pearls. I just think that it just really frames this up nicely and brings everything together the way it should look. Maybe it's because the pearls are rounded, I'm not sure, but it just seems to frame it so nicely. All right. So I think that looks pretty good, actually. So now we're going to take the white pearls and frame this, okay? So here we go. Another row right here. All the way around. There we go. Start. All right. Start by cutting it right here. Press the pearls down. Hold it up, make sure it's nice and circular looking. Now see what I'm talking about when I say that the white pearls just really seem to frame everything nicely? And I really do think it's because it's rounded. I don't think the rhinestone chain on the outside would look as nice because of that. So we're just going to allow everything to dry. Now I'm going to allow this to dry at least half a day. But to be honest with you, you'll see for yourself, but for each day it sits, it gets harder and harder and harder in, which is really nice because the glue starts to really cure. But I think that looks pretty nice. It looks pretty even. And you're not going to get it 100% dead on perfect, but you can get it pretty close. So I'm going to allow this to dry, and then we'll come back and put all the little finishing touches on it. And that's the fun part. That's when everything really starts to look pretty. So we'll be back. Okay, so this is completely dried. So now we're going to be cutting this out, okay? So get a pair of sharp scissors with sharp blades, and we're going to cut right around here like that. Cutting this stiff white felt is very easy. And you can see how I'm leaning my scissors a little bit. That's to get underneath the pearls just a smidgen. You don't want to do too much, just a little bit. And we're cutting this around like this. Okay, and then once I have it cut out, I look at the back, and I see if there might be a little place here or a little place there that might need just a smidgen cut off like that. See, it looks pretty good actually, but just in case there needs to be a little bit cut here or there. So I think this actually looks really good, so I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm going to use a glue-on bail, and you can get 6 of these bails in either a shiny gold or a shiny silver at Hobby Lobby, and they're regular $3.99 a package for 6 of them, but like I said before, I wait until they're on sale a couple of times a month. You'll see where it'll say Jewelry Shop, SHOPPE, that's the brand, and then you can go in there and pick up as many as you want for two bucks a package, you know. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on this. I think it works wonderful, and it holds really well. And I like that there's a little divot on the back of this to put the glue on. And I'm just going to put this somewhere on the back. And if you need to go in and take some of the glue off around the edges, you can use a toothpick to do that. But I don't think I'll need it. Now I'm just going to wait until this is on there nice and solid. And the reason why we're putting the bail on first is that bail is going to help us when it comes to gluing on the pearls. We can kind of see where we're at the top and down here at a diagonally. Okay, if we didn't have that bail on, it would be a little difficult to tell at times. So that bail kind of gives us a center point. All right, so I'm just going to allow this to dry for a few hours until I can just pick it up and not feel like it's going to fall off or anything like that. But this does attach itself pretty quickly, and especially if you have a tabletop pan that you can put it underneath. Okay, so after that dries, then we're going to go back and start adding little touches with the glitter, putting the pearls on, little rhinestones on, and the beautiful little dangles. Okay, so we'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these little Paper Studio rhinestones, and once again I paid half that amount at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to use a small one right here. And I'm going to add that right in the center of the flower just to give it a little extra sparkle. And here, and I'm going to add this right here in the very center. Okay, and then next I'm going to be using this opal glitter medium, and this is what I used in my last video. It was not $8.99. I paid I had a 40% off coupon, so it cost me a whole lot less. I would never pay this price. And this is by the Master's Touch Fine Art Studio. You'll find this where all of the oil paints are, and you know, everything for painting. And this stuff is great stuff. I absolutely love it. See that sparkle? And I'm just gonna, I know this already has sparkle on here, but you know me, I just love extra sparkle. And it's a gel, and it washes off so easily, and it does shrink when it dries. So even though you're putting this on, this gel, and it looks like it's puffy, all of that will shrink, and then you'll just see the glitter. And that's another thing too, when I use this and it dries, this glitter does not flake off. It's crazy stuff, this gel medium. I don't know exactly what the gel is made of, but I really like it. So I'm just going to do that all the way around. Oh, I just noticed I was out of frame. I hope I wasn't out of frame the whole time. I'm sorry about that. I've done that in a few of my videos, and I always watch my videos after I record them, so I can see if I made any mistakes. I can add text to it to let you guys know, or something, and it always makes me so mad when I'm watching and all of a sudden I'm out of frame. I'm sitting here thinking, oh no, all that work too. Okay, so this will dry and it'll look really pretty, and once that is completely dry, which will take a while, this gel medium is not like glue where it dries in 20 minutes. And it does take a little bit of time, but if you put this under your tabletop fan, it'll dry a lot quicker. So I'll go ahead and let that dry and we'll be back. Okay, so this is the next step. You're going to need 8mm acrylic pearl beads. Don't get the glass beads, get the acrylic ones. And I bought these from Dollar General. They have them hanging up with their craft supplies, and they're $2 a bag. I really like these because they're a beautiful color, I think, and I've already used about a dozen of these pearls out of here. So you're going to need a total of 6 pearls for each project. I'm going to start by taking 3 out. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue 3 pearls right here, and then on a diagonal like this, you're going to glue 3 more pearls. And that's the reason why I glued this on first, so I could kind of tell where I was as far as making my diagonals. Okay? So what I did was I took the Fabri-Tac, of course, and placed a pearl at the end of a toothpick, and then I put the Fabri-Tac right on the pearl like that, and then I set this right here, right on top, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second pearl. I'm going to put it right next to this like that. So put some more of this Fabri-Tac on here. And as you can see, I'm putting a fairly good amount. This right here. And then with the third pearl, I'm going to place it right here. And you might have to glue it partly over the rhinestone there, but that's fine. It's perfectly fine. And you're going to let this sit for quite a while. Make sure it's nice and glued on there. Probably got a little too much on that one, but that's okay. At least it dries clear. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 more pearls down here because we want it at a diagonal like this. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. And let this be your guide, okay? Make sure that's at the top. Okay. Put some glue on here. And get this right here. And even though the pearls may not seem really stable at first, believe me, they will be once the glue hardens. And I like using the acrylic pearls because it also, besides being lightweight, it also helps your ornament, your whole entire ornament, to be lightweight. That's what I'm trying to say. That didn't come out very well, though. Sometimes when I'm working and I'm trying to think at the same time, it doesn't work. It's best if I finish what I'm doing and put my brain on pause until I'm finished. Okay, so here we go. This is at the top, and you can see we have this at a diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to allow this to dry for several hours, and then we'll come back and do the very last thing, which is decorating them. And I love how these turned out, and I'll explain more to you once we come back and do this. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so the pearls are nice and solid on here, and they're dried. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place these beautiful little glittered leaves, 3 strands of them, on here with Fabri-Tac, and you can see where I did that. This is the back, and I just put a large flat back rhinestone here just to make it look pretty. And as you can tell, I glittered the back of the leaves as well as the front, and it was very easy because I used this opal glitter medium. I love this stuff because this does not flake off. You cannot rub it off. It's wonderful. So there's not a big glittery mess if you store these or pack these away. So I really would highly recommend this if you can afford to use your 40% off coupon and go to Hobby Lobby and get it. So it was very easy. What I did was I had some of this trim here, and they do have some of this trim. You can find it on Amazon and sometimes on eBay. If you type in the words lace trim leaves or lace trim tassels, then you should get some trim to pop up. Now, excuse me, I have noticed that there's not as much lace out there like there was before COVID hit. A lot of the lace is from China, and businesses were hit. So I'm thinking maybe that's why there's not as much. But look around, because there's a lot of little US based shops on Facebook and Etsy, and you only use 3 of these leaves per ornament. And like I said, if you can't find the leaves, you can type in the words lace trim tassels, and the tassels are awfully pretty. You can look at Hobby Lobby to see if they have something similar that you can use. So what I did was I just shook this like that, and I just used a little paintbrush and just painted the leaves like this. And once they were dried, I just turned them over, did the same thing, and of course I cut them out first, So that was pretty easy. And let me fold this up. I'm glad I have some of these trims in there now. I'm glad I stocked up a little bit on them, because it's fun to be able to play with these laces. And there's a couple of laces in there that I was really glad that I had, because it's tough to find them now. Okay, so these I already pre-glittered front and back. So I want to make them look just as pretty on the back. And so I'm just going to turn this over. And what really helps me to hang these correctly is by looking at the bail, and I go straight down and glue the middle one in first. It gives me a guide, and I'm not going to be shy about putting this on. And I'm just going to put this just like this. And then I'm going to glue on the second one here and the third one there. Now as I'm gluing these on, kind of look to see that one is not, you're not gluing on one that looks a lot longer than the other. And that looks pretty good, actually. Okay, let me look at it from the front. That looks pretty good. I might end up just cutting this leaf off here, the straggly leaves, this one here and this one here, but that's okay for now. I'm just going to let it dry. Okay. And so I'll lay this down. And once you paint these leaves with a gel, it does help them flatten out, and it gives it a nice swing. It's the best way I can describe it. So I'm going to take this Paper Studio rhinestones, and I did not pay $4 for this. I waited until these were 50% off. Okay, I've got some of this Fabri-Tac coming out of my bottle. So, hold on and I will be right back. Sorry about that. My baby wipes were not near me, so I had to go get them. Okay, so I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac back of this rhinestone, and I'm just putting it in the middle right here just because I just want it to look pretty on the back too. Okay, where it looks finished. So I'm just going to lay this down and continue to let this dry, and then we'll be back when this is completely finished. Okay, so this is dried. I think I'm going to cut this little piece off here. That's kind of useless. Okay, and I think that looks good. I was going to cut the other leaf off here, but I think I'm just going to leave that. And so I think it turned out really pretty. Now, the last thing that you'll need to do is to slip in an organza ribbon through here. Maybe a ribbon that matches this rose. And I also wanted to let you know that although I purchased these pearls from the Dollar General, you can also find acrylic pearls at Hobby Lobby, and they're hanging up where all of the boxes of acrylic beads are, and they have them, I think, for $2.99 for the package. And the package is about this size, maybe slightly smaller, and they have pink acrylic pearls, and they are in an 8mm. So that's another option too if you want to use the pink pearls instead of the white pearls. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to go ahead and put some organza ribbon through here once I sign off. But I think they turned out really pretty, and they weren't difficult to do at all. Just needed a little time for the drying because we have to put it on piece by piece, but I think they really are lovely, and they would look great on a Shabby Chic Christmas tree. You know, it's funny, I was looking at these and when I finished them, and I don't know why, But when I was looking at them, they kind of remind me of a Shabby Chic dream catcher. So, not too sure why I see that when I look at these, but that's what I see. So, with that said, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch these videos. It means a lot to me, and I hope each one of you have a beautiful Christmas, and God bless each and every one of you. You take care now. Bye-bye.